Good morning. I want to apologize for the delay. I was supposed to be live at 10, and on my Facebook platform, it is not allowing me to go live at all. I've tried from 2 different browsers. I don't know what the heck's going on, so I decided just to carry on with my Instagram live, and then once this video is done, I have found a way to actually upload that video onto Facebook. So bear with me. I will be bringing that to the Facebook platform as well. So my Facebook folks, I'm so sorry you'll be having to catch this as the replay, but it is still going to be packed full of wonderful information. And I'm hoping that it gives you some great ideas for our final day of creating a comfortable and supportive postpartum recovery space before baby arrives. Today's topic is going to be about stocking up on snacks for you in this recovery space. And I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks on what meal choices, snack choices are going to be the most supportive of your transformed body, how to help you heal deeply, how to support your hormones, how to support your milk supply if you are choosing to chest or breastfeed, and really just how nutrition is this overlooked powerhouse tool in your postpartum recovery toolkit, and how it's one of the easiest and most impactful ways that you can support your own healing through this incredible time. So, my name is Jessie Sletton, and I am your postpartum empowerment coach. I am the owner of Empowering Postpartum, and I help you as the birth giver feel as calm, confident, and prepared for your postpartum journey, for your transition into parenthood, as you do for your birth. And for those of you who know my spiel, I talk a lot about how we put so much time and energy into planning our birth, planning for the big day, right? And we're just so enamored with this idea of bringing our baby into the world, which is, we should be, right? It's a huge deal. Birth is a very big deal, and we need to feel prepared. We need to feel supported. We need to feel like we have a strategy, a plan. We have our support team put together. All of those things are so crucial, but we don't want to let it completely consume all of our energy and time, where we also need to plan for everything after. I will continue to say it until my last dying breath, but birth is just the beginning. It is not the end. It is not just, this blip in time and then everything else is just unrelated. It is the beginning. It's the portal, right, to our parenthood. So it's so important that we do plan for that huge shift, but everything after has an even larger impact. So it's so important that we are spending just as much time, if not even more, on planning for our postpartum recovery, planning for our transition into parenthood, putting in all these supports and resources ahead of time so that we have the best possible chance of growing together with our partner, of having a healthy mind and a healthy body to be able to bond with our baby, which is what we all want, right? And it's so important for us to have these things laid out and have resources known to us and available to us in case we need to rely on them when the time comes, or if the time comes, instead of trying to scramble to find them when we are in a bad situation, when we are struggling with our mental health, when we have a lot of physical wounds we need to heal from our labor or delivery process, all of those type of things. It makes it so much easier and convenient for us to have it done ahead of time. So that is what I do. That is who I work with. And if you're interested in learning more about working with me, I have an incredible group program called the Preparing for Parenthood Postpartum Planning Program. I call it the P4 program because it is a mouthful to say all the time. So affectionately, the P4 program is what I call that. And it is a wonderful program that is very truly comprehensive in how we prepare you for your transition into parenthood. It's not just going to be like this tip of the iceberg training we're doing right now, where we're creating a recovery space. That's just a tiny little sliver in what you can expect in this great program. We talk about a huge portion of it is focused on nutrition, which I'm just going to be able to share a teeny tiny tidbit today, right? I don't have all the time in the world to dive deep into this concept of nourishing our postpartum bodies. But we do that in the P4 program. I give you a ton of resources, a ton of meal ideas. I give you the support and the knowledge you need to really feel empowered to care and nourish your body now in pregnancy, as well as how to make slight shifts in the postpartum time frame. We also talk about how to nourish your relationship with your partner, how you can open up these communication pathways now so that you're on the same page for when baby comes. Because having a baby is not just, it's not in a vacuum. I always say that. You don't have a baby in a vacuum, right? It impacts everything in your life. And that is especially true for your relationships. So understanding that ahead of time and opening up these communication pathways now allows it to be an easier transition for you to stay together, learn to turn toward one another when things get a little difficult, and be able to support one another through this transition. Same thing with any older children you might be caring for or have in your household. You want to be able to nourish that relationship now and really strengthen that so that when this huge disruption of a brand new sibling enters the home, you have these tools and resources and you've strengthened that relationship. You've put in that time ahead of time to really be supportive for your older children as well. We talk about how to get help with the to-do list, because your priority should be your healing and bonding with your little one and supporting your family and growing together, right, during this time. Should not be focused on household work, on figuring out pet support and all these other things. You want to take care of that before baby gets here so that you know you have a game plan moving in to the postpartum time frame so that you can feel confident in having the support team you need that's surrounding you. And in the P4 program, we really analyze that support system. And I really challenge you in figuring out where your gaps are, and then I help you figure out how we can fill those in. So it's a very holistic, comprehensive program that I absolutely love, and I know that you would get so much benefit out of it. So if you want to chat a little bit more about if you think it would be a good fit for you and your family, I am going to direct you to my link in my bio. In there, you will find a link to my calendar where we can set up a time to chat. It's a totally free call. We gain some clarity around your goals, any roadblocks you already can see, or maybe some that are kind of blind spots for you that I can help identify. And we can really work together on figuring out how this program can benefit you and how working together will create a thriving postpartum time frame instead of one that you just have to survive through. But today, let's dive into our last training for this mini series on creating a recovery space for you after birth. And in the previous trainings, we've talked about a lot of different things that I recommend having in this retreat space so that you feel like you have a great place to just lie in, relax, focus on your healing, focus on your rest, and really focus on this nourishment, mind, body, and spirit. So go back and look at those other trainings from the past 2 weeks. You will find a total of 6, including this training, chock full of really great information, tips, and tricks. So be sure to check that out. But today I want to give you a little sneak peek, a little sliver, some great actionable advice on nourishment, on food, snack choices that you can stock up in your recovery space that make it convenient and easy for you to nourish your body. So we, especially as birth givers who choose or are able to chest or breastfeed, you're going to have higher caloric requirements and nutrient requirements even than in pregnancy in the postpartum time frame. So it's really important that you are staying on top of your own nourishment and making sure that you are eating enough to be able to keep up with your energy that's needed for healing your birthing wounds, as well as continuing to sustain life for your little one with your body through your milk. So this is a really, really important thing for not only you, but also for your little one. So it's important that we are focusing on the right foods to really help make this a bigger impact for restoring your nutrient stores and really giving back your body what it had really been losing during pregnancy to ensure your baby was thriving. So our body is incredible, And if we are having a hard time getting in certain foods, certain nutrients during our pregnancy time frame, whether it's because you are nauseous and puking all the time, right, which could happen, or you just get uncomfortable eating a lot because your baby's growing within you and your stomach is taking up less and less space. There's tons of reasons why, or food aversions, or things that can pop up, even allergies and things that can pop up in pregnancy can cause our diet and our nourishment to kind of go sideways, right, in pregnancy. So our body, in order to compensate for that, says it's okay. Our priority is making sure baby is getting enough nutrients to grow. So we're just going to take from the birth giver's body stores, these nutrient stores, and ensure baby is getting what they need, which is incredible. But it also can leave us as the gestational parent in a deficit, right? And so it's really important that from the very beginning of postpartum, we are choosing foods that are easy for our body to digest and break down so that we can get as much nutrients out of the foods that we are eating as possible. And something that's important to understand is that the postpartum body digests food very differently than a pregnant or pre-pregnancy body does. We're going through huge shifts, physiological shifts, as we are healing from our birthing wounds, as we are balancing our hormones are in these huge fluctuations, and we're trying to, settle those back down, and we're trying to create milk, which has additional hormonal components to it, and there's all these things, right? And our body's hugely focused its energy on healing and figuring out all of that crazy biological and physiological stuff, right? And so less and less energy is going toward your digestive system and toward, breaking down your food in the way that it was able to before. Studies have even shown that we actually lack certain digestive enzymes right after birth in the postpartum time frame, which makes it even more important for us to be very conscious of the food choices we are making to be able to have less digestive discomfort and get more of those nutrients out of the foods we are eating. So this is a whole big topic, and like I said, I go into a lot more detail about the changes that your body goes through and all of these things I've just touched on today in the P4 program. But some of the things I want to talk about are what are the snacks that meet certain criteria that can really help you get a leg up in restoring those nutrient stores, giving you the energy you need, helping you sleep better, helping you balance those hormones and all the things we just talked about. So I'm going to give you like a handful of my favorite snacks that you can keep on hand in your recovery space to make it really easy for you to reach for these foods and staying on top of your energy and really, like I said, giving you a leg up in this healing process. So some of my favorite ones, I'm going to give you some really easy things that you can stock up now even that are shelf stable. So that's really nice to have. You don't need a refrigerator or anything like that. And then I'm going to give you a few ideas that might need to be refrigerated, but you can take them out and then have them in the room with you, for a few hours. They would be fine. Or you can have your support system bring you these other items throughout the day and kind of restock on them. But one of my favorite easy things to stock up on that is shelf stable are salmon packets or tuna packets. These are like powerhouses when it comes to protein and fat, which is huge in the postpartum time frame. Nutrient-dense snacks and food in general are things that are higher in fats, higher in protein, and higher in vitamins and minerals. So they're truly dense with nutrients, and those are the kind of choices we want to be making as much as possible. Something that I tell my clients is that I don't want this to become, how do I put this? I don't want this to become a kind of obsessive point where we kind of get some unhealthy food associations going on, okay? So something that I always tell my clients is you want to include more of these foods and focus on the inclusion over excluding other foods, okay? you need to be eating. So if some of these foods aren't appealing to you and you are having a hard time, I'd rather you eat things that you can keep down, things that are satisfying your hunger and things like that, with weaving in some of these more nutrient dense snacks, than just being like, I can't eat anything and now I'm just gonna, reach for things that aren't helpful at all, or just not eat enough because I'm worried I'm eating the wrong things. Okay, that's not what we're trying to create here. This is more of an inclusion over exclusion concept. But the tuna and salmon are great. They're high in the DHA fats, they're high in protein, and they're very convenient because they're in the packages instead of the cans, so you don't have to mess with, opening a tin can while you're dealing with baby and you're trying to get rest. You can just open up these packets, eat with a spoon, or you can have it with a side of some of my other favorites, which is almond flour crackers. Almond flour is going to have higher fat and higher protein content than a wheat. It's also much easier for us to digest than a gluten-based product. Gluten is very difficult for our body to break down. And so even if you don't have gluten insensitivities, it can still be more difficult for your postpartum digestive system to handle. So it's always best if we can try to make these choices that are going to make our digestion a little bit easier and less uncomfortable, which would help us reduce some of the other things like constipation and gas and bloating and all of those really uncomfortable things that we don't need to deal with on top of our birthing wounds and everything else going on in our bodies, right? So the tuna or salmon packets. Something to note here is that I really recommend you go for the wild caught. They're going to be much higher in nutrients and less, possible toxins and stuff like that they've found in some research when it comes to like heavy metals and things like that. They're going to be a little bit better in that aspect and get more out of it than you would from like farmed fish. So it's a really important distinction there, is to find that it's wild caught. So I mentioned the almond flour crackers. So you can eat those on your own. You can eat them with some nut butter, or you can eat them with like the salmon or the tuna packets, as I mentioned. Avocado. This is one of my favorite things to recommend. It's delicious. It's easy. You can keep it, in the room with you, or you can have it sliced up and just bring it out each morning, however you want to do it. It's really simple. And again, you can eat that as a whole meal. This could be a whole meal right here, just the tuna, almond flour crackers, and avocado. It could make a delicious little mix that you can eat separate or together. So those are 3 of my favorite things that I wanted to share with you today. I have a couple others that I'm going to share as well. But again, if you want help with kind of figuring out this whole nutrition piece, which is one of the most neglected foundational pieces of postpartum wellness, in my opinion, and it actually just needs to be bigger focus, and we need to learn the right things and understand the shifts in our bodies and how food can help support those shifts. Again, let's talk about enrolling in the P4 program and see if that would be a good fit for you. But a few other items that I wanted to share: roasted nuts are great choices. Room temperature fruit, so you can have that on hand, just sitting right there in the room with you. Berries are really good choices. Bananas, you want to be a little careful with having too much banana because that can be binding. So, just a nice variety of fresh room temperature fruits can be really nice, and it can be hydrating for you as well, which is really, really important. Low nitrate jerky is awesome because it's shelf stable, and it also has really good protein, which is what you need to help heal all those muscles and incisions and things that are trying to get themselves stitched back together and heal, and that's going to be really helpful as well. And then of course, eggs. Eggs are one of my favorite foods of all time when it comes to pregnancy and postpartum, and at any other time really, but they are so wholly nutritious that they are just such great options. And if you have them hard boiled, it can be very convenient for you to have that in your recovery space to just be able to reach for. You can eat them one-handed, which is great if you're holding baby or you're nursing or you're doing a contact nap, whatever that might look like. They're very easy for you to reach for and eat. So that's my quick and dirty list of some of my favorite snacks. If you have some that you have, that you love and that you want to share, sharing is caring. So I encourage you to drop those in the comments below. Let everybody know what you think would be a good choice to have in your recovery space. Or if you have any questions about the things that we covered today, I'd be happy to answer those as well in the comments. And for those who are watching the replay on Facebook, again, I am so sorry about the live issue. I don't know what is going on. I'm going to have to put a note into Facebook support to see if I can get that fixed, because I'm planning on doing a lot more live trainings, from here on out. I really enjoy these. I think they bring a ton of value. I want you to have a lot of information so that you can feel like your postpartum time frame is something that you feel prepared for and you feel supported in. So hopefully I will have good news on that front, but I will be uploading this onto the Facebook platform so you can catch the replay. And for those folks who joined me live today on Instagram, thank you. It was good to see your names pop up. Say hello in the comments. Let me know what you found to be the most helpful out of this training. Maybe something new that you learned that you didn't know before. I love to hear those kind of feedback. And then I will see you all in a couple weeks. I am planning on doing another live series, another live training where I'm not quite sure the topic yet. I'm still kind of mulling that around in my brain, but it's going to be super, super informative. And hopefully you'll get a lot of value out of that as well. So I will see you all next time. Don't forget, check out the link in my bio for scheduling a free coffee chat with me about discussing working together to help make your postpartum the one that you are dreaming about and feeling the most supported and connected through. And I will see you all very soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.